Greetings, kids and nerds. I'm Lady Universe and I'm White Nerdy. The Fantastic Four movie is coming out in July, same with the Superman movie. So I'm really basically trying to keep everything that I can pretty well oriented within one another. At July for me is gonna be pretty much a day in a candy store for me. One of my favorite superheroes, one of my favorite superhero teams. Basically, having at it would be great. And I couldn't wait to get on the chance to talk about the Fantastic Four, and I'll do more content when it comes into July. But I couldn't pass on the chance to about the Fantastic Four. But not any movie, mind you, but an animated adaptation that most people might not have heard about, or if you've seen it, you probably forgot it even existed. But before we get to that, just how did Stan Lee create the world's greatest superhero team? Well, this is honestly a really cool story. Stan Lee publisher Martin Goodman was having lunch with one of the executive producers at DC Comics when he told him all about the Justice League, a team of superheroes that came together, so he told Stan to get on it. Stan Lee, by this point, was pretty much in his 40s, about, might well say, a middle-aged man. His wife, Joni, told him, listen, Stan, you want to quit, you no longer want to do this, so why not go out with a bang? If you want to retire, if you want to quit, then why not make the team that you want? And so Stan took his loving wife's words to mind and to heart, and thus he made a superhero team with the legendary artist Jack Kirby. And thus the Fantastic Four was born. Basically a superhero team that's supposed to take on at least DC take on the Justice League, but it's supposed to be more fantastic. And thus, the Fantastic Four became one of the Marvel's most well-known popular brands right alongside Spider-Man. Stan Lee, the man who takes chances on superheroes. Need I remind you that he took a chance when he made Daredevil, and yet he was very terrified that blind people would be very upset with him for making a blind superhero. But when he found out that places and charities for blind people actually were very excited. So, this is a man who takes chances, people, and also for taking his wife's idea and basically turning it into a great idea? Well done. Who's to say that your wife can't inspire you? I mean, hell, Jack Kirby's wife was his inspiration for Big Barda. So there you go. But we're not talking about any animated adaptation like the 60s Hanna-Barbera Fantastic Four cartoon that I grew up with, and that's how I got into the superhero team. Not taking a look at that, even though that might come up at some point. What about the 90s series that we all grew up with? Nah, but there could be some other time. No, I'm talking about a series that you guys have probably all forgotten about. I'm talking about the 2006 series. These ones. Okay, so this deserves a little bit of explanation. During the time, the Fantastic Four movie, the live-action one, actually did a very good job box office-wise, even though we all know that it's a bit of a stinker. It really sucked. But Marvel took a chance on it, and it became a basically blockbuster phenomenon. So to hype up the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie, whether or not it came out before or after this point, I don't know, and you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But they took a chance in making a Fantastic Four anime series. Well, I say anime series because technically the animation style in here resembles an anime, and well, anime was all the hype during the late 2000s with stuff like One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, Death Note, Inuyasha, so on and so forth. So was this a great series to basically do? Well, no. Well, yes, and also no, but you'll see what I mean, basically, as this kinda didn't have really a chance to get going, so to speak. Why do I say that? Well, first, let's talk about the series. So, basically based after the Adventures in the live-action movie, not the Roger Corman one, not the Fantastic. We will be reviewing that. I do have it, and I will be reviewing that, mark my words. But we're going to be taking a look at the Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes, and I'll talk about this later, I promise. But for right now, let's see what adventures that the Fantastic Four get into within their own animation series. Fantastic Four World Greatest Heroes is nothing more than just an anime series or an animation series that's basically trying to hype up the film that was going on at the time. The series did have a lot of hype going on around it, especially since after the first film was highly successful for Marvel, so they decided to milk the property for all it's worth and basically get that sweet, sweet cash money. The series actually, from what I remember, didn't do too badly, and although considering it was kind of underrated because not too many people were checking the series out. For what I can gather, the series had a very, very limited run upon cable back in the day, and thus that's kind of the reason why it's kind of obscure. But however, the series is nothing more than an animation series or an animated series that basically has the Fantastic Four going into some pretty weird and unnatural predicament. But the series honestly wasn't that bad. Actually, it was really damn enjoyable. Each and every episode just kept getting better and better for the lack of a term for it. The creative use of the Fantastic Four's Road Gallery, the creative stories, the voice acting was pretty good. All things considering, it was a really decent series. If 11 to 12-year-old me grew up with this series back then, I would have fell in love with this. I absolutely would have been great for this, especially since coming off of being a big Fantastic Four fan. But then, as you could imagine, tragedy did just struck for this great animation series, because it only lasted about 2 seasons. Yep, no joke, this series only lasted pretty much like 2 seasons, and this is the first season. All of this. Only 3 volumes. And out of the 3 volumes, there are 4 episodes. Only 12 episodes. Usually for a first season of an animated series, that's kind of understandable because that's how you can basically get your bang for your buck. But what's sad is that the series overall was pretty good, really showcasing the Fantastic Four, and really doing a good job with their villains, not just Doctor Doom, but using people like Annihilus, the Mole Man, the Super Skrulls, everybody. They even used let me see here. Ronan the Accuser that we've seen in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So, pretty damn impressive overall. But what's sad is that basically the studio behind this, Full Moon, I think that's her name, or Harvest Moon, something like that. Basically, as far as I can remember hearing, is that they eventually went out of business and yeah, this series had to be scrapped. People do remember it and people still do honor it as a really good Fantastic Four series. Do I happen to agree with them? Well, I mean, I grew up with the Hanna-Barbera reruns, and especially the 90s Fantastic Four series, which made me a big Fantastic Four fan. But like I said, if I grew up with this series when I was 10, 11 years old, yeah, or 12 to 13, I would say years old, yeah, all things considering, even though this series was short lived, which is very sad and tragic, and it happened to a lot of great animated series, like for example Megas XRL or even Symbiotic Titan, this series still holds up to this day, and it's a really, really damn interesting look on the Fantastic Four. Okay, granted, there are better Fantastic Four animated series out there, but aside from that, this series, all in all, and all things considering, was pretty good. I think another reason why it probably didn't do so well is because they try to do deeper stories with the Fantastic Four, and kids don't really care about that. They care about superheroes punching supervillains. But the thing is, it still is worth checking out if you can find it, and you honestly can buy this series cheap on Amazon. I mean, hell, for God's sake, that's exactly what I did. Each individual DVD that I have here cost about, respectively, between $10 to $15. I think the first one was the cheapest, and the last one was the most expensive, and that honestly makes sense. Like, if, for example, if you buy the JoJo's Bizarre Adventures OVA, the first 2 DVDs are cheap, and the last one is extremely expensive. Though I also have a theory for why this series didn't do too well. I'm going to dig into my map pad here. The series followed alongside the movie. Now, a lot of people have different opinions about the Fantastic Four movie that came out in 2004 or 2005. Where that some people would say, like, oh, it was pretty good. And other people going, what the hell did I just watch? And the thing is, they're kind of as annoying as those characters. Like Mr. Fantastic is Iron Grufford. Ben Grimm is the same as Michael Chiklis. Jessica Alba's Invisible Woman is the same Invisible Woman, and so on and so forth. And what's really tragic is that those characters, truthfully, to me, were very bad representations of those characters. I mean, God bless them, they did their best, but it's not the same that we basically wanted at the time. It's definitely not what I wanted. Yet, I'm a very stupid child, and I used to watch that movie continuously. I mean, I had to grow up with Batman and Robin and frickin' Godzilla 1998 people, so yeah, I grew up with crap, and now I can look back on it and go, yeah, it was crap. If you like the movie, then, good for you and more power to you. I really didn't care for them all that much, so I still do recommend this series, but just be warned that it's very heavy on the Fantastic Four movie before Rise of Silver Surfer came out later that year. So, yeah, man, I mean, if you're gonna basically hype up a movie, this is all that this is, pretty much, in my opinion. It's just movie hype and filler. Like, hey, you remember that great Fantastic Four movie? It basically took the world by storm when it came out. No joke. There were fucking video games, toys, comic books up the ass. Then this was the series for you. You can't wait for that Fantastic Four Rise of Silver Surfer movie? Then don't worry. We can do this. You know what's better and a greater representation of the Fantastic Four off of that movie that did a great job after the movie? The video game. No joke. That video game was awesome. I got it on PlayStation 4, and even when my stepdad moved in with us back before he became a jackass, I almost beat that video game by myself. Just had to use a little bit of help here and there, but yeah, man, I still do recommend this series, but just be warned that it does have the early 2000s Fantastic Four, I would say, bullshit. But I still do recommend Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes if you can check it out. It's a great series. It's a great representation of the Fantastic Four with some mild annoyance thrown in. And also, this was before Sue and Reed got married, so they had to continue in the story before they got married and Rise of Silver Surfer. So I do recommend this series, but just beware of the bullshit that's going to be on top of it. But check out Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes if and when you can. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you can be notified every single time I make an upload. I believe you never tablet nerdy, keep you get on and let me know what your favorite Fantastic Four series is in the comments down below. Was it World Greatest Heroes? Is it the Hanna-Barbera series? Is it the 90s series? Let me know in the comments down below. My personal favorite was the Hanna-Barbera series. Yeah, I know, it's goofy as all hell, but I love it. Same with the Super Friends. A lot of people can make fun of it. It's like, I still love that series to pieces, man. So, yeah, this was a huge cash grab and a cash cow for the Fantastic Four series, which was very short-lived, just like those movies, until 2015, and now 2025. And I have sincerely best of luck and high hopes for this movie, so, man, I tell you what, next year, probably, I cannot wait to review that movie and just go all whole hog on that movie. I couldn't speak for the life of me. And yeah, still do check out what Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes. It's not the best Fantastic Four series by far none, but for the time that we got this in, like I said, if I was 12, 13 at the time, yeah, I would have jumped on the series immediately. I think I've only seen one episode once on television, but that was, back when that happened. And I had kind of no interest in seeing it for whatever reason. So yeah, the animation style is unique. It basically copied off an anime style, trying to be edgy for the kids. Like I said, the late 2000s, man, we had anime up the ass. Like I said, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Death Note, Gundam, Zoids, you named it, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. We were just inhaling everything anime that they could give us at the time, man. I mean, Toonami was on top of the world, and everything like that. But still a great animated series, just unfortunate that it was just nothing more than just a cash cow grab. Like, they even introduced other superheroes that wouldn't get movies until years later. Like, for example, Iron Man, who wouldn't get a movie until 2008, and Ant-Man, who wouldn't get a movie until 2015, right? I was in school when it happened, or out of school. It was either 2015 or 2016 when it happened. So, yeah. And then The Incredible Hulk, who didn't have a movie until 2008. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be glad you have what new to keep you on. You can follow me at Twitter. There's a link in the description down below to see some behind the scenes stuff, or you can just talk to me. If you want to help this channel and support it grow, the best way to do so is by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, hitting that bell icon to be notified every single time I make an upload. But I believe universe, I want to keep it on. Let me know your favorite Fantastic Four animated series in the comments down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, and as always, guys, take care.